Hello and welcome everyone to the Cream Real Estate Investors. If you're new to the channel, the Cream stands for Cash Flow, Real Estate, and Money. My name is Dave Payerchin. I have RJ Pepino by my side, and we are full-time real estate investors and entrepreneurs. We have over 15 years experience and have completed over 1,000 real estate transactions. We actively own, control, and manage a real estate portfolio. We buy over 100 properties every year, and we know how to make money in real estate no matter what is going on in the market or the economy. Our goal is to add value and help you on your path to successful real estate investing. We do this every single day, and it's our pleasure to be able to share our experiences with you and help you on your journey. You can find us on Instagram using our names at RJ Pepino, that's Pepino, and at The Real Dave P. And then on TikTok at The Real RJ Pepino. Make sure you like this video if it provides some value or inspires any new ideas. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to turn notifications on so you can stay updated when our newest content comes out. And feel free to leave any questions you may have in the comments so we can all continue to learn and grow together. If you'd like to take an even deeper dive, visit us online at www.risewiththecream.com. That's where you'll find our trainings and resources to help further you on your real estate investing business and career. Take it to the next level. So we have a great video for you today. And as always, we're very grateful that you are with us today. And Mr. RJ Pepino, I got a question for you, RJ. What is the most important skill for a new real estate investor to possess?
Great question. And I think this is the correct answer. It's when you get a deal, it's determining whether it is a good or bad deal. And there's a lot of layers to this because even before you can even determine if it's a good or bad deal, you got to find a good deal. But you could get referred a deal. You know, you could stumble across a deal. Your neighbor might be selling their house, right? But if you don't know if you don't know that the core things about the deal, like what it's worth, how much renovation it's going to need, how much you can rent for, if you don't know how to analyze a good and bad deal, you're going to fail.
Leads are everywhere. I think what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. You can find a lead, somebody's referred to you, somebody's selling their house at your church, somebody maybe you work, if you're working a W-2 right now, nothing wrong with that, by the way. You know, you could make real estate your side hustle. You can find somebody's referred a deal or a lead. What we're talking about is lead analyzation, really. We're talking about analyzing leads, and leads are everywhere. I mean, but you need to be able to distinguish what is a good deal and not a good deal for you as a real estate investor who's trying to make money. So analyzing leads is by far number one. RJ, what are some ways that we analyze our leads? What are we looking for when leads come across our plate?
Well, the first thing we got to understand is what is the deal worth, you know, and we deal with a lot of single family houses. We love single family houses. You debated about why residential real estate is better than commercial apartments, right? We love both, right? But we just feel very strongly that, and this is stuff that we've learned from mentors that have been in this business since the 70s and 80s, you know, before we were even born, buying real estate. And it is understanding what is the house worth. You know, it's after repair value a lot of times, it's appraised value, however you want to call it, ARV. But you got to understand what a house is worth. And there's another video that we're going to have about running comps and how to determine what a house is worth. And, you know, we can go through the systems that we use. We have PropStream. We talk a lot about PropStream because it pulls not only the deals that are listed on the MLS, but also off-market deals. And by the way, if you want to check that out, there's a link below in the video. You can get a 7-day free trial on that. But you need to understand what a house is worth. That's number one. And then once you find what it's worth, then you also need to find out what you could rent it for, right? What can you do with the house? Are you going to sell the house? Okay, great. But we're talking about what we like to do. We're buy and hold investors. We like cash flow. That's what our, you know, that's what the C stands for in the cream. It's cash flow. And so we're automatically analyzing what a house is worth, what it can rent for. And then I'll let you finish up with the.
Sure. And what is the purchase price? I mean, what are we looking for as real estate investors, right? We're looking for equity and we're looking for cash flow. It's just that simple. We're looking for equity, meaning we can't pay too much for a property. We want to find properties worth 200 that we can get 150. We want equity. We want meat on the bone. And then we want cash flow. So as RJ is saying, we want to be looking at what something is going to be renting for. And then if you want to take it to the next level, you got to understand and realize what financing do you have available that's going to create a cash flow. So, I mean, if all you have is 12% money, it might be, it's definitely going to be more difficult to cash flow 12% money than if you got a bank lined up who's willing to give you 4% money. But you got to work with what you got, right? So when you're analyzing a deal, something that we have taught and something that really we stand by is think about this. Wow, W-O-W. W, what is it worth? O, what do they owe on the property? This way you can see if there's equity, right? If it's worth 150 and they owe 150, well, I mean, the most that you're going to be able to get this property for is, or the least you're going to be able to get this property for is 150, right? Like there's no equity. So realizing what the seller owes, this can help you construct your offer so you could potentially take advantage of some of that equity. So W, what is it worth? O, what do they owe? And the other W is what do they want? What do they actually want for the property, right? So you figure these things out and then you're able to run comparables so you know what it's really worth. Most sellers out there think their house is worth a lot more than it actually is. That's another video. We'll be talking about overcoming these objections without offending the seller. It's something we have mastered in our careers. And really, you're going to need to do this on almost every single conversation. But what do they want for the property is very important. Getting that number from the seller, and what you're looking for is equity, and then you're looking for cash flow. So you want to analyze what something's going to rent for, and then you got to kind of know how you're going to finance this deal so you could create a positive monthly cash flow that's going to help you create the freedom ultimately that we are all looking for. Nobody gets in real estate to be a real estate investor. Nobody gets in real estate to sound like a hot shot on YouTube, right? We get involved in real estate because we want to create freedom for ourselves, our families, and live a life worth living and be able to give back. So with that being said, this is Dave P. RJ, bring us home.
Yeah, then another thing is you got to consider is like what the renovations are going to be. Now, over the phone when you're talking to that seller, you're going to have to ask them, when was the last time they updated the house, or what was the most recent update? How old is the roof? How old is the furnace, hot water tank? These are just the main, and is there any structural issues, right? Is there a garage? So as you're kind of asking these questions, you're formulating in your head what the construction costs are going to be. And we can go over that in a different video, but we just want to give you some of the basic concepts of how to quickly analyze a deal if it's good or bad. So if it's worth 200,000 and they want 150K, but in your head you're calculating that rehab, and that rehab is going to be about 50K. Well, guess what? You're going to need to get that house for less than 150 because you all your equity is eaten up by the rehab. So it's not a good deal, right? So knowing what the property is worth, knowing what it'll rent out for, knowing what the renovations are going to be is going to give you the your like max allowable offer. And here's a quick, simple formula that we use. You could use this in your market today. It works. It's the after repair value minus, we're using 70, sometimes 75%, depending on where it's located in our markets here in Ohio, minus the repairs equals your max allowable offer that you can get to that seller. So again, ARV minus 70% minus repairs is your max allowable offer. It's a very basic formula. It's used a lot. Some people mess with that 70%. Sometimes it's 75%. But at the end of the day, hey, if you want to go 65%, I know a lot of people were doing that when the market was softening back in 08 and 09. You could do that as well. But knowing just those basic principles will allow you to quickly determine if it's a deal or not. And that's one of the most important aspects of real estate.
Really quick side note, I know it rolls off the tongue really easy, but it's actually, ARV, after repair value, times 75%. So you're looking at 75% of the ARV and then subtract out those repairs. Right. And if you're wholesaling, then subtract out your wholesale fee as well. just to build in more equity. But it all starts with knowing what something is worth, knowing what a deal is. We feel it's the #1 skill a real estate investor can have. You can have all the leads in the world, but if you don't know what a deal is, you're not going to be able to pick out the deals from all these leads. You can have all the private money in the world raised, but if you don't know what a good deal is, you're going to be sitting on all this private money. You never pull the trigger. So learn to figure out deals. Follow us. We will teach you. We have many different ways of comping out properties for both our buy and hold portfolio as well as our flips. We do both. And this has been a presentation of The Cream. Follow us online, www.risewiththecream.com, and shoot us a text. We send out daily motivation as well as some tips. So that number is in the background behind RJ, 614-810-4622. It's Dave P and RJ, and we'll get you on the next video.